for my voice, but I have never seen anything like it.
You believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable.
Welcome back to the podcast. I'm Andrew Zimmel, your host as always. Special Saturday edition of the show. See, it's a daily podcast, and we've slowly but surely crept into your weekend as well. This is the last show before the Super Bowl. You've heard it 100,000 times already. We've broken down the players, the game storylines. We've done everything except this one, talking about the prop bets, what we expect to happen via daily fantasy and stuff like that. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Brought on Sam to talk about it because I figured what better way to talk about gambling than have somebody who can't gamble come on the podcast, right? I'm a great guy. I'm really smart with this type of stuff. So I'm going to shut up. We're going to go to the prop bets. We give you a little bit more insight into what we expect from the Super Bowl halftime show and ads, too, at the end of it. So you're going to want to stick around for the whole thing. Here is Sam. All right, on the phone line right now, we have Sam Ouhaj, who we talked to earlier about his Sports Illustrated story, but I brought him back on the podcast to talk to him a little bit more about some of these Super Bowl prop bets that I found. And it's going to be it's interesting stuff because we've kind of talked to the 49ers writers. The San Francisco media has kind of portrayed the 49ers as a team that's going to win. Kansas City thinks that they are going to win the game. So for two guys who really don't have much of a dog in this fight, Sam, I think we have the most unbiased opinion of this game, right?
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about some of these games, or prop bets. So first off, we have Patrick Mahomes will score a touchdown, or a player will score a touchdown in the game. Patrick Mahomes clearly has the best option to score a touchdown. He has plus 370 odds to be the first player to score a touchdown. How do you feel? Do you think Patty's going to be the first one to score?
No, I don't.
Why is that?
The reason why is I think that what's gonna happen is that they're gonna get super close to the 1 yard line, and then they're gonna run it in with one of their running backs instead, and it's just gonna mess up all the betting. When I see those prop bets and I see that this person is gonna score a touchdown first, 9 out of 10 times it's always completely something opposite of that person scoring the first touchdown. So I'm just gonna go with my gut on that one.
I like it. Okay, so here's the other one. It was how many yards will Jimmy Garoppolo record? Over 300.5 or under 300.5? The over is favored right now for Garoppolo to throw over 300 yards. He went for three times. You think he's going to go under? He went for 3 times this season. So you think he's going to go under 300 yards in the Super Bowl?
Yeah, he's only completed 17 passes in both of his postseason games. There's nothing that really gives me any confidence that. And it's the 17 is combined. There's nothing that really gives me any confidence that he's going to throw for over 300 yards. He might, but for right now, I'm going to play the safe bet that they're just going to try to run it down Kansas City's throat. After all, Kansas City at one point had the 30th ranked run defense. They're awful when it comes to stopping the run, and obviously the 49ers have that running back committee with Mostert and Tevin Coleman, but I'm pretty sure he's out. I'm not too sure. I haven't read the injury report on him and Matt Breida, so they're going to constantly have a fresh running back in, and I don't really think – I think they're just going to stick to the game plan that they've been doing with Jimmy Garoppolo and not letting him throw the ball as much. You saw the Titans try to do it, but there's only so much you could do with Ryan Tannehill and Derrick Henry, but it works for the 49ers a lot more.
I think that he's going to throw for over 300 yards. I'm going to tell you why. I think this is going to be a shootout game. I don't buy the zone run game that the 49ers fans and the media has told us they're going to run. I don't think it's going to work. I think in the first quarter you're going to get a lot of runs, but as the game continues and the 49ers are scoring, the Chiefs are scoring in 4, 5, 6 plays going down the field really quickly, I think the 49ers are going to have to throw the ball in this game. So I like Garoppolo to throw for over 300.5 yards. Let's talk about Super Bowl MVP. So Travis Kelce is a dark horse to win Super Bowl MVP at 1,400 odds. Right now, Mahomes is the favorite, followed by Garoppolo. Who do you have right now for the Super Bowl MVP?
That's a hard one because there's so many great players on both sides of the ball for both teams. So I like the dark horse candidate and Travis Kelce if the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, but I have the 49ers winning the Super Bowl, and I think it's going to be one of the running backs on the running back committee. I don't think it's going to be Mostert, but it could definitely be someone like Matt Breida, or it could be Mostert again. But I feel like it's going to be someone that we least expect. We've seen it the last couple of years, especially when James White won the Super Bowl MVP a couple of years ago. So I'm going to take one of the running back trio to be the Super Bowl MVP this year. I don't know why. I know that you said with the run scheme and the passing. I like the run. I don't know, establish the run, I guess.
I like it. Well, right now, Mozart has the best odds, I think, of the running backs to win the Super Bowl MVP, because I think Coleman is probably not going to play at all, or if he does play, it's going to be very limited snaps. So I think he's going to be the starting running back. Right now, 49ers running back Raheem Mostert, he's got the best odds of that running back core. I really like Travis Kelce as the dark horse. That's not the guy I'm putting my money on, though. I really do think Patrick Mahomes has an outstanding blowout game. And if history tells us anything, it's usually the quarterback who, if the team wins, is probably the guy that's going to win it. Now, granted, Malcolm Butler gets the interception on the goal line to secure the win for the Patriots. You know, those type of plays, okay, you're going to give it the Super Bowl MVP to somebody else. Julian Edelman last year, who catches like 15 passes and is like really the only offensive player to do anything in that Super Bowl last year. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
but for the most part, it's going to be the quarterback.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from, and I do like. I don't know, because I just think it's going to be Raheem Mostert with the whole running back situation. Because one, if the 49ers win and they give it to the quarterback, I don't really think if the 49ers are winning, it has to do with the fact that Jimmy Garoppolo isn't throwing the ball that much. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, he's not a bad quarterback. They've showed it that like he has some good fourth quarter comebacks and like he has some clutch plays, and his EPA is up by a lot in the fourth quarter. But if the 49ers usually get ahead, and the reason why they win so many football games is because they have that running attack going, and the defense is also really good. I honestly, and also too, I'm kind of a superstitious person when it comes to certain things. It's not a good way to be at all, and I hate it about myself because I constantly have to do these rituals before every game, or if I see something, I'm like, oh, this is going to happen in the game. But Mahomes was the Madden cover this year, and I know people try to disprove the Madden curse, but last time we saw someone as the Madden cover, Tom Brady lost. I mean, last time we saw the quarterback as the Madden cover, Tom Brady lost the Super Bowl that year.
Okay, that's
just
fair.
some thought.
It's a fair point.
Mahomes is he's the 20 cover this year. I don't know. I mean, he got injured, so that's part of the Madden curse. But I don't know. I think the Madden curse comes out.
All right, so let's talk about winning margin. Right now, the Chiefs are favored in this game. When you look at the spread by 1.5, it's Chiefs by 1 to 6 points. So less than a touchdown is plus 310. 49ers between a point and 6 points is plus 325. So Vegas has this game being close, either way that you put it. Which side would you... I know you picked the 49ers, but do you think it's going to be more than a touchdown or less than a touchdown if the 49ers pull off this win?
I think it's going to be a close game. Just the fact that the Chiefs score in like literally 3 plays or less with all the speed that they have. But the 49ers defense isn't a bunch of scrubs. They're probably the best defense in the NFL this year. Like, they're filthy. They're legit. And one of the best matchups I think that we're going to watch is Tyreek Hill and Richard Sherman. Obviously, Richard Sherman is more of a zone cornerback nowadays. He doesn't really have that speed to keep up with Tyreek Hill, but that 49ers defense is something. And I feel that the defensive line is really going to get into where Patrick Mahomes is, but the Titans obviously couldn't accomplish that in the AFC Championship game. Their offensive line came alive for the Kansas City Chiefs, and that was considered one of the weak spots at the beginning of the season. So I think it's going to be really close. In the Chiefs defense, I feel like they're going to get beat a lot on the run, but on the pass defense with Tyrann Mathieu, I feel like they're going to be really good shutting down someone like Deebo Samuel and Emmanuel Sanders and Jimmy Garoppolo. But I just think it's just going to be a close game because what's going to happen is that the 49ers are going to run the ball, Kansas City's just going to pass the ball, and it's just really a battle of the pass and the run. But I don't know.
All right, let's talk about another really good prop bet for this one. Will an offensive lineman score a touchdown? DraftKings has it at yes at 1,300 odds, plus 1,300 odds. Both of these teams very creative on offense. We saw the Titans score a touchdown 2 weeks ago on an offensive lineman as an eligible receiver. Do we anticipate either one of these teams running a trick play or having a fat boy score a touchdown?
Oh, yeah, it's the Super Bowl. That's when teams try to be flashy on television, and they come out with some of the best plays that they haven't ran all season just to throw teams off. We saw it with the Philly special. I mean, that's still talked about today, and that was 3 years ago almost. Like, that was one of the best trick plays in NFL history, so why not do it again with an offensive lineman? And I feel like we've seen a lot more big man touchdowns this year, even in the regular season. I'm not too sure how many were scored, but I feel like every time I opened up my phone on Sunday, I saw a big man scoring a touchdown. So why not in the Super Bowl on the biggest game of the year?
Yeah, the NFL in the 2020s, body positive. We like to see it. So you think an offensive lineman is going to score a touchdown in this game?
Yes, I do.
All right, let's move on. You talked about him a little bit earlier, Deebo Samuel. He is favored to have over 56.5 receiving yards in this game, plus 100. So you put down $1, you get $100 back. What do you expect from Deebo Samuel in this game for the 49ers?
He's been the 49ers' best wide receiver, even after the Emmanuel Sanders trade. I think it helps having another receiver to pair up with Samuel because it takes more attention off of him. But I don't know. He's just come alive, and you watch him in the playoffs. Like, he's playing like he's a 5-year veteran, Deebo Samuel. And that was the 49ers' best pick in the draft besides Nick Bosa this season. I think he's going to do really good in the Super Bowl. He's shown time and time after again that he'll make those clutch plays, and he's really not afraid to go over the middle. And that's something that I really like about those sorts of receivers is that he's willing to put his body on the line to make the big play. So I think he goes over, you said 56 yards?
56.5.
Yeah, I think he goes over 56.5 yards. I think he has a big game, even though that it probably won't. Like, a big game to me is like 80 to 100 yards, but it won't be anything more than that. But I do think he covers the prop bet.
I think they're going to get him the ball early and often on just slant plays and just easy 4 or 5 yard pickups. I don't love the Chiefs linebackers. That's probably the position I like the least on the Chiefs defense is the linebacking core. So if they can get Kittle out there bringing attention that way, you open up the middle of the field. I like his chances to get over 56 yards.
Oh, I just remember. I totally forgot George Kittle was on. I don't know how I forgot that. That was my fantasy tight end. Maybe he could be the Super Bowl MVP candidate. I think George Kittle is the best tight end in the NFL. It's pretty close with him and Kelsey, and Ertz isn't too far behind. But George Kittle, he just has a fun personality. He's kind of like Gronk 2.0.
Oh, 100%
like,
I agree.
He has that personality. Like, everyone loves to be around him. He makes some crazy plays. He's super athletic. And it's crazy to see that he went in such a late round a couple of years ago, like the 5th round. It's ridiculous because he's a first-round talent easily.
So should I put him down for your Super Bowl MVP?
Yeah.
All right. George Kittle, Super Bowl MVP. All right. Let's talk about Damian Williams. Over/under on 3.5 receptions in this game. Now the Chiefs have used him a lot as a back. They don't run the ball conventionally. They like to throw screen passes. They like to do those bubbles, and that's how they pick up a lot of their yards. I anticipate more than 3.5 receptions for him.
Oh yeah, definitely. I would definitely give you that because, I mean, when you have Patrick Mahomes, it makes 100 million times percent. It makes so much sense to just throw the ball every single down. I mean, I get it. You got to split it up so you keep defenses on their toes, but Mahomes has such an arm talent, and you always want him to touch the ball every single snap and make a play. So I think that they'll give Damon Williams a lot of receptions, definitely more than 3.5. I want to say maybe he gets 5 or 6 because that's something that I watched the 49ers kind of struggle on this year was a lot of screens and bubble plays. And I think they do that, and I feel like that's what a lot of their yards are going to come from. The Kansas City Chiefs is a lot of those slip-screen passes, and I feel like that's what we've watched a lot, too, in the NFL this season with a lot of teams, is that all these teams like to run these screens, these slants, and these short sort of routes, and they pick up 15, 20 yards because it catches a lot of defenses off.
I agree. All right, let's talk about Jimmy Garoppolo. Will he throw an interception in this game? He's favored to throw at least one.
Yeah, I think it's the Super Bowl. Every quarterback, this is obviously his first time starting in the Super Bowl. I think Mahomes throws an interception too. It's just all the nerves. You get it out the first couple of plays. You saw Brady do it last year. Saw Jared Goff do it too. I really do think that he throws at least one interception, maybe two. In the playoffs, you saw what happened was that Garoppolo was throwing the ball against the Vikings, and then he obviously had that one interception. And after that, they ran the ball like 20 times in a row before they gave him the pass again. So I think Kyle Shanahan tries to play a little conservative, but obviously you got to open up the playbook on the Super Bowl. So I think that he throws at least one interception.
All right, on that first drive of the game, Sam, what are your chances? What are the chances of anything but a scoring play? So anything but a touchdown, a field goal, or a safety. You're looking at a punt, a 4-and-out. What are the chances that happens?
I'm going to go with a 60% chance that happens because I just think that it's just going to be a great first drive, whoever gets the ball first. But I feel like the defense is going to, whatever defense comes out first is going to be playing with a lot of fire. So I think that they're going to limit the opposing offense, and it's going to go to a punt.
We've talked about this a lot all week, about how tough it is to get motivated again, to get amped back up for a game like the Super Bowl, where the halftime is longer, the pregame is longer. It's really hard to get up for that type of game. Do you anticipate that playing any effect on Sunday?
Yes and no. It depends on the score, to be honest. I think when it's after the pregame's over, everyone's going to be amped up to play in the Super Bowl. It's in Miami. Everyone, I'm sure, has been having a good time this week, enjoying themselves, getting ready for the Super Bowl. However, if it's halftime and the halftime show is long, like you said, it is longer this year with Jennifer Lopez and Shakira, I think if the Chiefs or the 49ers are down by 2 scores, I think they come out kind of sluggish, whatever team is up. But if it's a 1-score game or if it's by 3, I think it's just the same energy that it was after the pregame. I think that these two teams, you obviously saw that one's the number one offense and one's the number one defense, but when you look at it from a statistical number point, they're literally the same team. Just one team has more points scored by like 20, and one team has given up less points by like 10. So it's pretty crazy to see that these teams, everyone says that they're so vastly different, but they're kind of the same team. Just one has a generational quarterback, and the other one just has a running back committee.
Now, let's talk a little bit about the halftime show. It's J-Lo and Shakira. How excited are we for this? Because I have been on the fence. I've been going back and forth deciding if I'm going to watch the Super Bowl halftime show or if that's when I make a beer run.
Can I be honest? I don't really watch the Super Bowl halftime show. I feel like they haven't been memorable. I kind of just go. I usually have my buddies over. We'll just go. We'll go to the store or something, get some soda or get some snacks if we don't have them at the house, and then we'll come back. But I don't know. I watched Justin Timberlake's performance 2 years ago. I wasn't really impressed by that. I don't even remember the halftime show from last year, to be quite honest. I feel like they don't really leave a lasting impression in my mind. I'm more focused on the football aspect. I hate halftime, to be honest with you, in all sports, but I get it's reasonable because I just like to watch the game and just have it keep going, especially if your team finishes on a high note. It's definitely fun to get back into it. So maybe I'll watch it this year because it's it's J-Lo and it's Shakira, and they're both very attractive females, so I'll have to watch that. But I don't know. The halftime show is just kind of the halftime show. It's just more about marketing and the NFL trying to get more viewers in.
All right. Do we find out what happened to Mr. Peanut? Then I'll let you go.
I think we do. I think that they've hyped it up they've hyped it up a lot over the last couple months. Or how long has the ad been running for? A couple weeks now?
It's only been 2 weeks, and it feels like I've seen the ad 100,000 times.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's why I was like, it's been a couple, because I see it almost every single day. It's always the peanut falling off or something happening or whatever. I think that we finally see it, and I feel like it's going to be very talked about, the Super Bowl commercial. I love watching those commercials, especially, too, with the ad that Budweiser is currently running right now with the Bud Light Seltzer and Bud Light with Post Malone. I feel like that's going to be fun to see because they're taking a vote down right now, and whichever one wins is what the ad is going to air on TV, so it'll either be Post Malone picking up a Bud Light or it'll be Post Malone picking up a Bud Light Seltzer.
All right. Sam, thanks so much for coming on and breaking
Thank
down
you for
the
having
Super
me.
Bowl prop bets with us.
I definitely appreciate it so much. You take care.
There's Sam breaking it down for us. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. I have gone this entire week. We've talked about Kobe. We've talked about a bunch of other stuff. But the entire week I've been trying to formulate my idea for who I expect to win the Super Bowl. And I've said to Alex, I've said to Patrick, I've said to everybody around the podcast, on the show, off the show, everywhere. I've said, hey, I like the Kansas City Chiefs. They're a 1.5-point favorite. I'm going to take the favorite. I'm going to take Patrick Mahomes for the Super Bowl MVP. I have not wavered. I still like him. This is the game that I think we're going to anoint Patrick Mahomes with the holy oil of quarterbacks. Like, this is it. This is the game that he singularly takes the throne. Tom Brady on his way out. Aaron Rodgers, his way out. Lamar Jackson is still a prince in this game. I don't think he has ascended to NFL royalty just yet. Eli Manning is out of the league. This is the time for Patrick Mahomes to turn the page of the NFL history book and write his name down. You like all this really good imagery? I like the Chiefs in this game. I think Tyreek Hill's going to have a really good game. Travis Kelce, never been a big fan, but I think this is a game that he's going to really stand out. George Kittle's still my favorite tight end, still one of my favorite players in the league. We're going to do a fantasy podcast before next NFL season, probably somewhere in August, and I'm going to tell you why I think that he should be your number one overall pick. But going into the Super Bowl, I think that the Chiefs are going to have enough firepower offensively. I don't think the Niners are going to be good enough offensively on their own to play in this game. I have the Chiefs 34, 49ers 27. I think it's not going to be as high scoring as some people are making out to be. So, it's been a lot of fun. Tomorrow's a big game. I hope you have a good time watching it. I'll probably have a couple good Super Bowl watch stories for you come Monday. We're going to put a podcast out on Monday, guys. It's going to be crazy. And slowly but surely, we're going to also start incorporating the NBA a little bit more into it. You know that we've had a couple NBA podcasts. We've talked about Kobe a couple times. But going forward, we're trying to get more and more into the NBA, especially with the NFL season coming to a close. So expect a lot more content. And I'll talk to you guys on Monday. Peace out. Thanks, guys.